Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to those of you who have been here before, and welcome to those of you who have not been here and have come over to find out what it's all about. My name's Colette, my channel is Inspiring Life Changes, and the reading that I'm doing today is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Venus rising and cusp energy of Aquarius. And if you don't know where those placements are, Aquarius, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out. It is a general read, so it's not going to resonate with all Aquarians out there. Hopefully you will be able to find something in it somewhere. So, I'm going to start your reading today, first of all, with the words that I got as I was doing my meditation that came through, and they were to do with not rushing into something, to take your time with something. And at this time you actually have Saturn retrograde in your sign as well, Aquarius. Saturn is also one of your rulers, so he's going to be going backwards over the same ground that he's been going over for the past few months. I think it was on February the 14th that he entered shadow. So from that time, everything that you've experienced up to date, you're going to kind of go back over that same old ground. So Saturn is kind of saying there's something that you need to learn here, there's something that you need to listen to understand better on a deeper level, maybe something that you've missed up to now, and Saturn is going to kind of give you the opportunity to reevaluate it, take another look at it. So that could have something to do with why I was getting the words don't rush in to anything. But we do have as your first energy, your overall energy here, the Eagle card, Eagle Spirit from the Animal Oracle deck, and the Eagle is saying Spirit has your back. And a few things came through for me with the Eagle. I always see the Eagle as being an energy of being able to soar the higher heights, shall we say, and look down and see the bigger picture of what's going on. He's also Zeus's messenger as well, Zeus the Greek god. He would be able to be his eyes, so to speak, shall we say, so that he could see again that bigger picture, what was happening in his domain. So there is that element to it of maybe kind of having to take a back step at this time and look at the bigger picture, Aquarius, before you do rush into anything. But something else that came through was the fact that the Eagle Spirit, or the eagle bird itself, always nests in incredibly high places. It's not an easy nest to reach. If you're trying to get to an eagle's nest, it takes a lot of climbing to get there. And they are a rare bird in themselves as well. So also something about self-worth could be relevant here as well. Knowing your self-worth, knowing your uniqueness, maybe having value for yourself here. So there's just a few things that came through with the Eagle energy there. So the reading itself is set out in 3 sets of 3 cards. And they represent the first 3 your past. It can be recent past, it can be past from your childhood, or anything that's still affecting you today, basically. The middle is your present energy, and that is the follow on from the first 3, so why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And also the last 3 are the future energies, what is yet to come in from the past 2 energies as well. So the past is creating the present, which is going to go on to create the future. Of course, you do have free will in this, as well, so nothing is set in stone. And as an Aquarius, being a fixed sign, sometimes fixed signs, because I'm a fixed sign myself, we get stuck in doing the same thing or wanting the same thing the same way. So in saying that, the first card that you have for your past energy, the World card, came through to me as like an energy of 180-degree turn. It's like something that kind of shifted you completely out of where you were going, the path that you were on. And it feels like it was something that happened very suddenly, very like 1 minute you were doing one thing and the next minute you were completely like on a different path, doing a different thing, experiencing a different life, a different world, is how this has come through today. The world is endings and beginnings, but this feels like it's not just an end and a beginning. This feels like it was a huge transitional energy into something completely different, because it's followed by the sun, which is talking about a sense of I'm getting with it a sense of freedom. The sun is like, and happiness, and kind of being your own boss in a way as well. It feels like something that you took control of your life with this card here, with the sun card, and this card here as well. And it took you to a place that had a lot of happiness, a lot of good things, a lot of insight, clarity, seeing things. Again, it's that 180-degree turn, almost like seeing things in a completely different way, experiencing life in a completely different way, a much more satisfying way. Yeah, it just feels like a much more kind of nurturing and self-nurturing. Almost like putting yourself at the centre of your world is how it's coming through here as well. You taking that control. And after the Sun card, we have the Six of Cups, which is a card of emotional balance, emotional happiness. It could be that you had to deal with a lot of things from your past here, Aquarius, but it's brought a sense of balance, because the Six of Cups is often to do with childhood memories, childhood experiences, but it's upright. And with the cards that it's with as well, they're all very positive energies. So it could have been with this Sun energy that you taking control of your life. You also took control of your past in a way as well, and decided that you were going to change how things had been. From this energy to this energy, which is a beautiful energy. Like I was saying, it feels like very emotionally balanced, like reaching a point of equilibrium, of give and take, happiness. It could be with somebody else, or this could just, it feels more like it's just within your own emotional body. sense of balance. But the energies that we move into are very different to the energies from your past. So we have the Seven of Swords, which can be seen as a deceptive card. It can be a card where you are deceiving yourself about something. But it's come out as well with the King of Swords in reverse. And the King of Swords is at the very centre of this reading. And I always see the centre card as being the heart of the matter. And with the King of Swords in reverse, it's kind of saying to me that at this time there's a lot of stress, a lot of worry, a lot of things that you feel trapped by. With this King of Swords in reverse, you're not feeling, whereas here you were feeling there was a lot more, it felt like there was a lot more control over what was happening in your life. But here it feels like it's all in your head, like it feels like blockages, like you kind of try to find a way to solve a problem, or to, because the Seven of Swords is coming through as problems, as issues, of stresses that you're trying to find answers to maybe. And it's all very, very logical. It's like you're trying very hard to solve problems and issues within yourself or without, like in your environment. But it feels as though you keep coming up against like brick walls in a way, which is how I'm seeing these swords here today. And you also have the Ten of Wands after this as well. So it feels to me as though all of this is like a lot of burden on your back, like you're carrying a lot of stress at this time. And you may, with the King of Swords here as well, you may not even be communicating it. You may be holding it all in, which is also a possibility of why this Seven of Swords is here as well. This feeling of kind of, I can deal with it, it's okay. As long as I keep it all contained, as long as I keep it to myself, it will solve itself. It will resolve, the issues will sort themselves out. But you're actually kind of burdening yourself here and making it a lot harder. Is what's coming through there for me, Aquarius. And then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. And the Knight of Wands is coming very much kind of after this 10 as well. And fire energy is all about creativity. It's our drive, our fire, our passion, action, doing, energy. So the Ten of Wands, going back to the Ten of Wands energy here, it's kind of saying to me, it's time to let all of this go. Whatever you are carrying here, whatever burdens, whatever stresses, whatever limitations that you're putting on yourself, it's time to let it go, because a 10 is always about letting something go. It's about reaching the end. But we can carry on, we can keep it going for as long as we are focusing on it here. And the Knight of Wands is saying to me here that there is this feeling within you, Aquarius, of, or there will be, as this is the energy that's coming through, coming into play, is this feeling of wanting to, again, kind of ignore it or run away from it, or possibly just do something that is completely out of character, is something else that's coming through here. Because the Knight of Wands can be seen as a kind of the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence kind of energy. Like if I just drop that, or if I just kind of, like if I don't deal with it, I can just move on. But that's not what is being said here, because the Emperor is in reverse as well. So it's saying that to do so is just going to cause more problems, because the Emperor is a energy of creating something concrete. It's the masculine side of our energy. It's the doing side. So this feels as though there's a situation here where you could just like almost like out of the frying pan into the fire type of feeling. That it's not going to resolve the issue. Also, again, this kind of feeling of strength, of wanting to stay strong, trying to stay strong through this. Again, kind of holding things in, not communicating, not expressing. Could also be to do with dealing with authority figures as well, because the Emperor can represent the masculine side of life, like law, police, those people who have control or authority over us, or believe that they do. It can also represent a father energy as well. It could represent your own father energy. And you also have the sun energy here as well, which is also a patriarchal, masculine driven, but with the sun up here. In the right way. So you come out of that energy and you go straight into this, almost like plunging from a great height, possibly, into like a complete depth of emotion. The Palace of Cups, which is the card that you've got here. For me, all the Palace cards, and these are unique to this deck of cards, the Palace cards are like a condensed version of the energy itself. So it's like really emotionally intense. It's like you're dealing with, or you're living with, within that whole emotional world. It's like all of your world at this time, or this time coming in, is going to revolve around your emotions, your emotional world. And it may be, because it's upside down as well, it may be, Aquarius, that it's not a place that you're particularly wanting to visit. The Emperor could also, it's kind of coming through for me as this Saturn retrograde energy as well. Saturn being the teacher. And also the Keeper of Time. But this could also be about not rushing in. As I was saying earlier, there was this kind of feeling and the words of like, don't rush in. So you may want to, with this Knight, like I was saying, you may want to act out of character or do something out of character. But if you do, it's going to cause more, like bigger issues within your environment. Because the Emperor's also about the environment as well. You can see there he's kind of standing over this kind of monopolis, this city. All powerful, which the Emperor is. The Emperor's all powerful. Nobody wants to argue with the Emperor. But at the same time, when he's in reverse, he can be very controlling and very like an energy of not being willing to listen to other people. Which again, with this King of Swords in reverse, is a similar kind of vein here as well. So that might be important at this time, especially with the Gemini energy that we're in at the moment, and Mercury just going retrograde as well, Aquarius. In Gemini, it's going to be trining your energy in Aquarius. So although trines are a good energy, it can sometimes be like adverse but positive eventually. So it's an easy flowing energy, but Mercury's in reverse, so it may be that you're not wanting to outwardly communicate your feelings and your experiences of life at this time. Could also be that somebody enters into your life as well that maybe promises you a lot, but they may not deliver as much as they are promising. And that could also leave you kind of feeling stranded emotionally as well. Or really going down to the depths of your emotions. To try and find out where it's all coming from. It does feel, that wasn't very well done, it does feel like the Ten of Wands energy is kind of blocking creativity. It's blocking something new from entering, or it's blocking something from you moving forward with something. So the Knight of Wands as well could be an energy of you being kind of susceptible to other people's ideas that may not necessarily be the best plan for you yourself, Aquarius. You may not be trusting yourself at this time as well, with this Seven of Swords and the King of Swords in reverse. You may not be fully in your power. Swords being air energy. So over the top of the World card here we have the Six of Wands. It is in reverse. But that's what I feel about this kind of 180-degree turn, as I was saying. It's almost like if you look, there's like a light at the end of this tunnel. And the boat is heading towards it. But I feel that you weren't heading towards it. You didn't, it wasn't somewhere that you were aware that you were going to be going. It was like I say, this kind of sudden change, like you suddenly just decided to turn the boat round and go in the opposite direction here. Because the Six of Wands talks about victory, but it feels to me as though you were coming out of a place where you weren't feeling victorious, you weren't feeling on top of things. Maybe somebody had kind of belittled you or put you down, or because the Six of Wands usually is about being recognised for who you are and what you do. But I still feel, it feels a lot like it was a good move to make, whatever that move was that you made there, Aquarius. That decision to go in the opposite direction and bring something completely to a close was a good move. Even if it was a difficult move. But I do feel that it was something that was just very sudden, unexpected, out of the blue. Not something that you'd planned for. So let's see, oops, why is the sun here? We have the Hierophant and the Four of Chalices. So the Hierophant is saying to me today that this, over the top of the sun, that this was about kind of a return to your faith, to yourself, which is where faith really comes from. Now you can have faith outside of something, or something could be outside of you that you trust in or you have belief in, but ultimately it has to come from within you. It can't come from without and not be within already. Otherwise you wouldn't connect with it, whatever it was. But it feels like this is kind of maybe even a spiritual awakening, or awakening to your faith again. Something that stirred something, brought something back to life. Or awakened something within you that you weren't necessarily fully aware of. But we have the Four of Chalices here as well. So it feels as though it was a situation where you had to go through some sadness and some sorrow. Possibly a breakup. Of a situation. But it was only by going through that time period, that emotional kind of understanding in a way, that you reached this faith within yourself. But I will say it feels like it was a bit of a journey to get there. Again, it wasn't something that was just overnight, in the sense of like it wasn't something that you just kind of recognized, or it took some time to get to this stage, to get to feeling on the right path, doing the right thing. And a sense of strength within it as well. It feels like it did take a lot of inner work, a lot of inner what's the word? Yeah, inner work. Inner reflection. And we also have the 3 of chalices come out after the 4 with the 6 here as well. So it does feel like a celebration. It does feel like something was kind of resolved within you. Like you found that happy place within you again. You found your joy. You found your creativity. You may even feel as though you found your spiritual family, like your spiritual family, not necessarily just your blood relation family, but your spiritual family. And there was a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. And just this sense of belonging as well is what's coming through. Of knowing that you've done the right thing at the right time. By taking that 180-degree turn. But right now, where you're at, is you're feeling, like I was saying earlier, this sense of stress and feeling blocked. 7 of Swords can also be called the thief in the night as well, because he takes away, strips away our ability to trust our own judgment on something, which is also why it's known as the sabotage card as well, because it is to do with self-sabotage when things seem to be going right. And the Chariot card is also kind of saying the same thing as well, because things are blocked here. Nothing is moving forward, which is what I was feeling with this King of Swords. There's a feeling of wanting to, of feeling of not being in control, a feeling of not being in the driving seat of your life at this time. Almost like I say, this thief in the night, almost like somebody else has kind of come in and taken over your life in a way. And there's a lot, it also feels like there's a lot on your plate at this time. There's a lot, like each one of these swords is kind of something that you have to deal with, cope with, resolve, find a solution to. And it's all in your head. It's all kind of constantly playing in your head and stopping things from actually moving forward. Could also have something to do with possibly kind of keep looking back as well. Rather than looking ahead at where you're going, you keep looking back over your shoulder to see where you've come from. Almost like feeling that something's going to catch up with you or something's going to happen. Maybe something that you know that you need to deal with, something that you need to resolve. Could be a person that you need to communicate with or resolve issues with here. But it feels like something that isn't completely upfront in a way, not completely honest. Possibly that you're trying to escape a situation. Not wanting to look at a situation. But that's what's keeping you blocked. Whatever that is. Whatever this, all of this is, it's what's stopping you from moving forward here. Putting your time into all of this. All your focus and your attention. And it feels like something to do with the past. Because he's not looking forward. He's not looking where he's going. He's more worried about what's behind him. And the King of Swords has got the Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Chalices. So there is definitely this stuck energy because the Four of Pentacles is all about holding on to what you have rather than allowing something new in. But because it's the King of Swords, again, it feels like this is much more to do with your mind, your state of mind at this time, Aquarius. And again, it could be to do with this Saturn retrograde period that you're going to be going through. We're all going to be going through it, but Aquarians, you're going to really feel it again because it's in Aquarius. It's going to go all the way back to 6 degrees from 13 degrees 15 or something, I think it is. So you may want to check out where that placement is for you, Aquarius, in your chart, which house it falls in. And there is, like I said, there is a link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out if you don't already know your own chart and which house area is being activated by this particular Saturn retrograde in your own chart. But it does feel like a sense of kind of paralysis at this time. Possible even fear of moving forward. Which is maybe why the Eagle Spirit is also saying Spirit has your back here. And also, as I was saying, about seeing the bigger picture, looking at the bigger picture rather than just seeing things kind of like face up against the wall type of energy. But the more you hold on to it, I mean, both of these cards are talking about an energy of being stuck, not moving forward, of keeping the status quo the way that it is. And they're also both saying that this is to do with your mind. And how you're viewing things at this time in your life. And we also have the Knight of Chalices in reverse as well. And again, I'm getting this feeling of kind of cutting yourself off from things. Limiting the amount of emotion you allow, the amount of emotion that you express, the amount of emotion that you let in, Aquarius, at this time. I'm also seeing this as a roller coaster, in fact, and that you may feel that you're at this bottom of this roller coaster at this time, and that you've got a long way to climb up. Possibly before you can get back to that point of feeling like you're soaring again. You could be feeling that you're at the bottom of this ride at this time. And again, kind of a bit stuck in it all, not quite sure what's the best thing to do here. What's the solution? And we also have a King of Cups straight after this as well, in reverse. So emotionally you are on a bit of a kind of, it feels like this is just looping back round. Looks like the number 9 as well today. But it feels as though it's kind of looping. You're on this loop of going just kind of round and round, rather than kind of going down. But it's just looping round and round, and this comes out over this 10 of Wands energy as well. So you may be feeling as though you're just kind of like emotionally just, but nothing's changing. But nothing's changing. That this could be to do with work situations or family situations or friend situations. But emotionally you're just feeling as though you're on this constant loop, is how it's coming through for me. And that's another reason why you're not being able to move past this energy here. And the 10 of Wands can also talk about a situation where you are, like you're oppressed, you're oppressing your own abilities, because you get to a point where you kind of don't believe that you can achieve I often see the Ten of Wands as being this energy of where you've kind of created something magnificent. And it's almost like writer's block or artist's block. You've created something that's so good that to be able to do that again just seems like an impossibility. It's like I can never do that ever again. My life's never going to be that good ever again. And that's how I feel that you are in this situation at this time. And just kind of looping back round and round and round. Maybe it's because you don't want to release whatever that was, that time, that period for you. But it feels as though you're kind of stuck in that same energy, that same kind of yeah, like I say, like writer's block, or just not being able to get past that. Again, it can be to do with belief in yourself as well. But it does feel like emotionally you're on this huge roller coaster ride at this time, Aquarius. Like, just, you can't, almost like you can't get off is actually how it's coming through. You can't get off. You want to, but you can't get off. Like you're just kind of trapped in this space that's just repeating over and over again. But the Ace of Wands, fortunately, is coming in to say that there is going to be this breakthrough. It feels like a breakthrough moment, a moment of kind of reconnecting is how I'm seeing it. It's you reconnecting with that kind of whatever this was back here, this faith is how it's coming through. I'm seeing this as this, all this lit up here is you bringing in that energy that at this time feels blocked. And just very like out of reach somehow. It just feels like out of reach. But the Ace of Wands, it just, yeah, there's this breakthrough coming. This breakthrough, because this to me is looking like a kind of like connecting with your spiritual like connecting, just reconnecting with everything. And as you do so, it's kind of, see here, it's bringing all of this nurturing, but this blooming. It's like you coming back to life, you coming back to I'm getting painting, and I don't know why I'm getting painting, but it's almost like yeah, just this huge input of creativity is how it's coming through. But it's over the top of the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is in reverse. So there is a warning energy here with this Knight of Wands, because I was saying he can be seen as kind of the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence type of energy, but it also feels as though this is more about a breakthrough for you, being able to rechannel this energy. The Knight of Wands is very much about ideas. He's very much about initiating things, getting things going, starting things. Doesn't always finish them. And it is a kind of very in and out type of energy, an energy which kind of flows into your life and kind of can like, what's the word I'm getting here, kind of again to do with reigniting a passion and a drive. This can also be sexual energy as well, the Ace of Wands. So for any of you Aquarians out there who don't want to create inwardly, shall we say, then just be careful, because this could be a time where that could happen with so much fire energy here. Especially the Ace of Wands. But the Knight of Wands also, like I say, he's an initiator of ideas. Without this energy, we would stagnate. If the grass didn't look greener on the other side of the fence, we would never explore. We would never go beyond where we have been so far. We would never want to check anything out. We would just stay where we are and just kind of just stagnate, which I feel is kind of where you feel you're at this time, Aquarius, anyway. Which is why I feel that there is this kind of warning that if somebody like this enters into your life, then they're there to kind of remind you that you can push beyond your own boundaries and your own barriers here. This isn't about them, this is about you. You can push beyond your own and reconnect with this, with your own, like, creativity is what's coming through here. Feels like a large influx of energy, which is going to get you out of this rut, it feels. Because with this Chariot, it just feels as though the wheels are spinning. And maybe that's also why you feel as though you're just on this loop, going round and round and round. Like the wheels are just spinning. And it's been digging you in deeper rather than getting you out of the situation you want to remove yourself from or let go of. With the Emperor card in reverse as well, which is next, there could also be this feeling of your own strength being used against you at this time, and I'm not going to take them because that was far too many cards. Yeah, your own strength being used, like I was saying, against your will. Maybe you having to fit yourself into doing something or be in a certain way that you really don't want to be. Because we have the Five of Pentacles here as well. And the Five of Pentacles for me does talk about feeling like you're not fitting in. Actually, what else is coming through here as well? It's like kind of feeling like you've outgrown something. You've outgrown a situation. And yet you're still in that same space. And that you want to... I'm just getting a lot of creativity. It's like you want to create something else, somewhere else. But you may be feeling very alone at this time. You may be feeling as though you've not got the support that you need at this time, Aquarius. Five of Pentacles talks about being left out on your own, having to fend for yourself. And we have over the top of the Palace of Cups, the Two of Swords in reverse, and the Five of Chalices. So there is this emotional situation coming up. There is something that is going to plunge you, like I was saying, into this emotional depths. Where you're just going to be coming from a very emotional place, like constantly feeling emotionally like, oh, because Aquarius is air energy, it is swords, it is logical, it is mind, but this talks about you feeling like you're having to go into your heart space here, you're having to go into your feelings, into the depths of your intuition or your instincts or your trusting, your inner world. Because the Two of Swords is a card of decision, but it's a logical decision. But this is saying, because it's in reverse, it's saying to me that this can't be made. This decision, whatever this decision is, cannot be made with the mind. And maybe this is also why you're trapped at this time. Because this is something that has to be made with the heart. And with the Five of Chalices here, it feels like there's something that you're having to relinquish, something you're having to let go of. Because if you see, he's leaning over into this kind of running river and he's dropping all these glasses of wine into the water, which is something that he's kind of letting go. Feels like letting go of the past. There is two glasses, if you look carefully, you see up there on the bank here, there is two glasses that are still left standing, but the focus of attention is very much on these three that are falling into the water. And of course you've got these three cups here as well, with these Three of Chalices. So that it feels as though there is something here, Aquarius, from the past that you are needing to release, let go, relinquish and move on from. But it doesn't feel like it's an easy situation. Doesn't feel as though it's an easy thing for you to do. And you may feel at times as though you have done it. You may feel as though you've done that, you've been there, you've already achieved it, but then it comes back. It feels like it comes back in this wave of emotion again that kind of sucks you back under and reminds you that you're still carrying this with you. There's a lot of creativity in this card. Sorry, in this reading, not just this card, in this whole reading that's coming through very strongly. So, of course, the decision is yours to make at the end of the day. But it is a decision that needs to be made with the heart and not just with the head. So it's about how you're feeling rather than like reliving memories and going back over why it is the way it is and why you acted the way you did, or they acted the way they did, or the situation that evolved around it. It's about taking the mind, how can you say it, not so much out of the picture, but it's really about going into the depths of how you feel about this as to how much you're willing to let it go completely. So, Aquarius, let's see what the Abraham Hicks cards would like to say to you. And if you don't know who Abraham Hicks is, I will just say there are lots of videos out there at this time on YouTube and other sites, I would imagine by now as well. If you just type in Abraham Hicks, it will come up with a lot of information for you. So you get the card of I am rediscovering the art of allowing my natural well-being. It says, we call this discipline the art of allowing. It is the art of allowing the well-being which makes up every particle of that which you are and that which you come from, to continue to flow through you as you continue to be. Oops, sorry about that glare. Which kind of fits in very well, I feel, for this reading, the art of allowing your natural well-being. And maybe that's what this is also to do with here as well, is connecting back to source energy, which is what it feels like. It feels like connecting back to source. Whatever that is for you in your own faith that's within you, which I feel that, Aquarius, at the moment you feel as though you've kind of lost contact with, and that it's not flowing, shall we say, as easily within you because of all these blockages. So, discovering the art of allowing your own natural well-being. And maybe that's what you discovered before, because it does say I am rediscovering. Let's just see quickly. Evolution, malachite. Yes. Evolving beyond. So, malachite, 26, very feminine energy, malachite, heart chakra. So evolution chakra is the heart and it's green colour. It's saying the great creator intends that you be an active participant in the creation of your destiny. This is the purpose behind free will. Free will is not intended to leave you stranded without guidance to make life's decisions. It's not an abandonment. That's the energy I was feeling here. You were feeling like you don't fit in. It is a blessing that makes you a co-creator of universal order. Choosing your course in life wisely will impact the whole in a positive way. None of us is isolated. Every thought, word or deed affects everything else. Free will always allows you the choice of acting or not acting. There are times when you feel you have either the emotional reserve or physical strength to make major changes. Sometimes doing nothing is the best decision. Non-action is an action of its own. And just going back to the words that I got earlier, not to rush into anything as well. So maybe that's what this is talking about, the non-action. So other times, even though you would like to put off the inevitable, something within your soul gnaws at you. A feeling of unrest or agitation. You can feel that a larger purpose is at work. You know in your heart that, reluctant or not, this is your time. Moving forward is what your soul has chosen now. Courage is a prerequisite for growth, but if you do not feel particularly brave at this moment, it could also be this energy here as well. Of not feeling particularly, so there's something attached, bit of fluff attached to that, of feeling particularly brave, or like going outside of your environment, your box, your kind of place that you feel comfortable in. So if you do not feel particularly brave at this moment, do not worry. Your higher self senses within you when you have the strength to accomplish your goals. In addition, you are not alone. Helpers and guides in the physical and non-physical realms support you. Often before you can move forward, it is necessary to do some internal excavation. Are you holding on to any old belief systems that could hold you back? Well, it would appear so, Aquarius. Like a bulldozer moving earth for a new construction, we help you push through any barriers that are blocking your evolution. That inhibit movement and change. We make room for and stimulate new growth. Our deep green whirlpools spiral within to unearth stagnation and blockage. If you have chosen our card today, it is because you have made a commitment to uncover the obstacles in your life and make the necessary change. To grow. Even though you consciously want to change, some part of you may be resistant to letting go of old paradigms. We will help you penetrate through layers of resistance so that you can bring any areas to the surface. Our green healing energy comes directly from the heart chakra to comfort and support you as you look at your issues and work through them. Whoops. Whether you are facing small changes or life-shaking ones, when they are over, you will not be the same person that you were at the onset. And although it may not appear to be the case, you are always the one initiating the process of change. Yes, even if you were fired from your job, jilted by your lover, or had an accident, your higher self set these emotional earthquakes in motion for your growth. To truly evolve, there must be a balance of growth and integration. You make changes and then need a time to rest, to assimilate and incorporate what you have learned. It is part of the great cyclic nature of the universe, activity and inactivity, expansion and contraction. During your time of growth, take time to rest and regenerate while absorbing your new life experiences. Life is balance. Move away from the intensity of this work to lighter leisure activities. This equilibrium will help you integrate the new person you have worked so hard to become. Congratulations, friend. Our blessings are with you. So, malachite. It may help you, Aquarius, to get yourself a piece of malachite at this time, because it seems like this is quite a big change, evolving, growth. So I'm going to leave it there and say that I hope that it has been of some help to you. I hope that you may have learned something from it. If you have, please could you thumbs it up for me, because the more thumbs it gets, the more it gets out into the bigger YouTube world, where I can hopefully get people come back to my channel and view the rest of my videos as well, and even subscribe. Thank you very much to those of you who have liked my videos. Thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed to my channel as well. If you haven't, please could you do so, because it really does help me to grow my channel, which is my aim at this time. I know, Aquarius, I haven't been here for a long time. I did have a square with Saturn, funnily enough, in back in December. As soon as the conjunction happened and Saturn moved into Aquarius, that was my Mars and my Mercury being squared by Saturn. So everything just kind of stopped. Everything came to a halt, a screeching halt. So rather than fight that energy, which is not a recommended thing to do really, Saturn's quite a big energy to fight. So as you're probably experiencing yourself at this time, Aquarius. So yeah, if I was saying, it's like that's the reason that I haven't been around for a while, but I am back and I am doing the videos as much as I can again now. Also, although it is going to go backwards again, it's probably going to square my Mars and my Mercury just a little bit this time. Anyway, also playlists. There is a playlist on my channel as well, so if you feel like having a look at any of my other videos, please feel free to do so. If anything jumps out at you, resonates with you for the titles, then it's your video at this time if it feels right for you. No dates or times on my videos, because shit happens all the time and they're just there for whenever. So hopefully you'll find something there as well. I do all the full moon, all the new moon, both the astrology and the tarot readings, and I also do all of the sun signs as well. And with all that being said, I would just also like to say thank you very much to those of you who have shared my videos. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And thank you to those of you who are going to share my videos in the future. Again, really appreciated, and look after yourselves, Aquarius, and hopefully I will see you again soon.